Well, distinguished guests, Mr. Mayor, and everyone else that's here, if you'll excuse me for a moment, I'd like to address a few remarks to my fellow veterans. Some of us joined because it was a family tradition. Some of us joined because of patriotism. Some of us joined because of the opportunity to get ahead in life. Some of us joined for all of those reasons, as did I. But once we were soldiers, sailors, airmen, or Marines, the reason we were in and the reason we were there changed. And it was to protect each other. We took care of each other. Anyone who has served in a combat theater knows why you do the things that you do. You do it for your mates. Thankfully, today isn't like it was after Vietnam. The American public understands there's a difference between the people who served where they were sent to serve because their country sent them there, and those and the government that sent them. Today we honor our veterans. We honor the people that are serving as we should. Now, as you heard, I'm running for the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. in Texas District 10. District 10 has 8 counties in it, and in those 8 counties, the total disability compensation being paid by the Veterans Administration is $1.4 billion. And here in Burleson County, $7.9 million in disability compensation is being paid to veterans. Now, what that says to me and should say to you is that there are many, many people among us who still need our help, who still need the support of their fellow veterans. And so I say to each of you, each of my fellow veterans, keep this in mind, because there are many of us that still need help. I pledge that if I'm elected, I'll have a dedicated person to deal just with veterans issues. Now, I've been asked to deliver some remarks on behalf of the National Commander of the Disabled American Veterans. And I'd like to read them now, if I may, please. We have a difficult but important duty today, paying homage to America's finest heroes who gave everything in the defense of freedom. Difficult in that while more than 1.2 million men and women have perished in or as a result of military conflicts, we are still able to live in a free society, infinite in its variety, sometimes turbulent, but all the more valuable for having been tested by adversity. There have been many who have sacrificed terribly to maintain our nation's independence and our democracy. But today is for those who are forever lost to us, those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Today we mourn the loss of those fine men and women. We mourn the loss of our family members, our friends, and our heroes. We mourn the loss of those who have done so much to make this country great. The men and women we honor today were real people, sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, wives and husbands. They were strong and vibrant. They were loved. They are loved, and they are missed. I'll interject that with a comment of my own. There is one particular person who fell in that category that I remember the most. It was in my 3rd tour in Vietnam. One morning, a young Seabee came to me and said, "Sir, I've just gotten a letter from home. My wife says I have a son. I would love to get home to see him. Can you please put me in a less exposed place?" I was his company commander. I did that, and he was killed the next day. Now, after that, I made a resolution to myself that if there were anything I could do in the future to ensure that when young husbands and young fathers make sacrifices like that, that it is for a cause worth the sacrifice. Today is not about celebrating the beginning of the summer season or sales at the shopping mall, today is a solemn day of remembrance, a day that should be properly set aside for nationwide mourning. Unfortunately, that sentiment is not always shared. There are those who fail to understand what had to be given in order to win and preserve our freedom. That's why I want to extend the Disabled American Veterans Society's sincere thanks to each of you who decided to come here today. You are making this day with the same serious intent with which it was created some 145 years ago, back when it was known as Decoration Day. You are not taking your freedom for granted. By being here today, you are setting an example for others to follow. And that is as important as ever, as we have so many of our finest young Americans still serving in harm's way. Thank you for being here and to honor those who have served and those who have paid the ultimate price. Thank you.